This $5,000 electric vehicle from Africa just outsold Tesla in emerging markets last quarter, not a typo. $5,000 for a fully electric vehicle that gets 250 miles of range. While Elon Musk tweets about robotaxis and Cybertrucks, an unknown manufacturer from Kenya is actually delivering what Tesla has promised for years, but never built: an affordable EV for the masses. Elon should be terrified. This isn't just another competitor. This is a fundamental reimagining of what an electric vehicle can be. Tesla's stock dropped 7% when these sales figures hit Wall Street last week, and for good reason. The company that was supposed to democratize electric vehicles just got beaten at their own game by a startup most Americans have never heard of. This isn't just disrupting the EV market. It's completely rewriting the rules of global manufacturing. What's happening in Kenya right now will affect everything from car prices to battery technology to how vehicles are built for the next century. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to get one of these revolutionary vehicles before they sell out in America. The first shipment of 10,000 units is already 80% reserved, and they haven't even officially launched here yet. But the most shocking part isn't the price. It's how this African company solved the EV problems that stumped Silicon Valley engineers for decades, and why Detroit and Tokyo are scrambling to catch up to Nairobi. Mobius Motors didn't set out to build an electric vehicle. They set out to solve a transportation problem. Founded in Nairobi in 2010, they initially focused on rugged, affordable internal combustion vehicles for African roads. But in 2019, everything changed. We realized the entire Western approach to EVs was wrong, explains Mobius founder Joel Jackson. Companies like Tesla were adding technology to solve problems that shouldn't exist in the first place. The breakthrough came when Mobius engineers asked a simple question: what if we designed an EV from scratch for affordability rather than trying to make an expensive vehicle cheaper? The result is the Mobius E1, a vehicle that shatters every convention of electric vehicle design. Instead of a complex skateboard platform with thousands of parts, the E1 uses a revolutionary monocoque design with just 370 components. For comparison, a Tesla Model 3 has over 10,000 parts. The E1 weighs just 1,800 pounds, less than half of a Tesla Model 3, which dramatically reduces battery requirements. The entire vehicle is designed around efficiency and simplicity, rather than luxury and complexity. Western manufacturers are selling smartphones on wheels, says Jackson. We're selling affordable, practical transportation that happens to be electric. The performance metrics are what really shock industry experts. The E1 delivers 250 miles of real-world range, accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 8.7 seconds, reaches a top speed of 85 miles per hour, fully recharges in 4 hours on a standard outlet, and comes with a 10-year battery warranty. These aren't groundbreaking numbers until you consider the price: $5,000. That's not after incentives or tax credits. That's the actual price. For comparison, the cheapest Tesla Model 3 starts at $38,990, nearly 8 times more expensive, while delivering similar practical utility for daily transportation. When Car and Driver tested the E1 against a Model 3 in real-world conditions, the results stunned the automotive world. Both vehicles completed a 200-mile mixed driving route with 20% battery remaining. The Tesla offered more luxury and technology, but both vehicles fundamentally performed the same essential function: moving people efficiently from point A to point B. The question everyone's asking: how is this price point even possible? The answer reveals everything wrong with how Western manufacturers have approached electric vehicles. The Mobius E1's $5,000 price tag isn't marketing hype or a stripped-down base model that no one actually buys. It's the real, drive-it-off-the-lot price that's reshaping the global EV market. Let's break down what you actually get: a 4-door, 5-passenger vehicle with a 40 kilowatt-hour battery pack, single electric motor producing 107 horsepower, regenerative braking, 10-inch center display, air conditioning, power windows, and basic driver assistance features, including automatic emergency braking. The interior isn't luxurious, but it's surprisingly comfortable with durable fabric seats, washable rubber flooring, and a minimalist dashboard. There's no leather, no panoramic glass roof. no 17-inch touchscreen, just practical, functional transportation designed to last. We eliminated everything that doesn't directly contribute to the core function of the vehicle, explains Mobius chief engineer Wanjiku Njenga. Western manufacturers add thousands in cost for features most people rarely use. This philosophy extends to every aspect of the vehicle. The body panels are made from dent-resistant composite materials in just 4 major pieces, reducing manufacturing complexity and cost. The battery pack uses a revolutionary cell architecture that requires 60% less wiring and cooling infrastructure than conventional designs. Most shocking to industry veterans, Mobius achieves 95% manufacturing automation, while using 70% fewer robots than a typical Tesla factory. Their production system, developed in partnership with Kenyan tech startups, uses AI-optimized assembly sequencing that maximizes human efficiency rather than replacing humans entirely. Real owners report experiences that defy the vehicle's price point. James Odiambo, a Nairobi-based delivery driver, switched from a Toyota Corolla to the E1 6 months ago. I save $140 weekly on fuel and maintenance. The vehicle has never had a single problem, even on rough roads and in heavy rain. Sarah Muchua, a teacher in Mombasa, purchased her E1 last year. I charged it at home twice weekly and never once worried about range. It's simple, reliable transportation that happens to be electric. Even in extreme conditions, the E1 performs remarkably well. During independent testing in Kenya's Rift Valley, the vehicle maintained 85% of its rated range in 95 degrees Fahrenheit heat with air conditioning running continuously. In Rwanda's mountainous regions, drivers report better than expected range due to the regenerative braking system's efficiency on downhill stretches. The question isn't whether quality is sacrificed for price. The 18-month reliability data shows failure rates below industry averages. The real question is why Western EVs cost so much more while delivering the same fundamental utility. The true game changer behind Mobius's breakthrough isn't just design simplicity. It's their revolutionary approach to battery technology that has Western manufacturers scrambling to catch up. While Tesla and other manufacturers fight over limited lithium supplies and face skyrocketing costs, Mobius developed what they call an iron-air matrix battery that uses materials abundant throughout Africa: iron, aluminum, carbon, and air. We couldn't compete in the lithium arms race, so we didn't try, explains Dr. Amara Kante, Mobius's battery technology director. Instead, we revisited chemistry paths abandoned by Western companies because they didn't scale well in their manufacturing paradigm. The iron-air matrix isn't as energy-dense as the best lithium-ion cells. It stores about 70% as much energy per kilogram. But this disadvantage is offset by 3 critical advantages. The materials cost 90% less, require no rare earth elements, and can be manufactured without the billion-dollar gigafactories that have become EV industry standards. Most significantly, these batteries can be produced locally in small-scale facilities, eliminating the complex global supply chains that make Western EVs vulnerable to geopolitical disruptions and price volatility. The environmental implications are equally profound. Lithium extraction typically requires approximately 500,000 gallons of water per ton of lithium produced. Mobius's battery technology uses virtually no water in its raw material processing and creates 0 toxic byproducts. Dr. Yi Zhang, battery technology expert from MIT who independently tested the Mobius system, was initially skeptical but became convinced after examining their approach. They've essentially traded energy density for radical simplification and cost reduction. For mass-market vehicles, this is arguably the more important optimization. The durability metrics are what truly shocked industry experts. Mobius batteries show just 8% capacity degradation after 200,000 miles of simulated driving, significantly better than lithium-ion packs that typically lose 20 to 30% capacity over the same distance. This technology isn't just theoretical. Mobius has already produced over 200,000 battery packs at their Nairobi facility, with production scaling to 1.2 million annually by next year. They've achieved manufacturing costs below $60 per kilowatt hour, less than half what Western manufacturers pay for lithium-ion cells. the implications extend far beyond the automotive sector. Mobius has begun licensing their battery technology for stationary power storage, potentially solving renewable energy's intermittency challenges at a fraction of current battery costs. As one energy analyst noted, Western companies spent billions trying to make lithium batteries marginally better. Mobius instead asked why we needed lithium at all. That's the kind of first principles thinking that changes industries overnight. Mobius hasn't just reimagined the electric vehicle, they've completely revolutionized how EVs are built. Their manufacturing approach makes Tesla's much-hyped alien dreadnought factories look like outdated relics. Instead of massive centralized plants requiring billions in capital investment, Mobius pioneered what they call distributed micromanufacturing. Their production network consists of 27 specialized facilities across Kenya, each focused on specific components or assembly stages, none larger than a typical retail store. The Western manufacturing model is fundamentally colonial, explains Mobius COO Abasi Okafor. It extracts resources globally, centralizes production in massive facilities, then ships finished products worldwide. We've inverted that model completely. Each Mobius microfactory costs approximately $3 to $5 million to establish, compared to the $5 to $10 billion Tesla spends on each gigafactory. These facilities employ 30 to 50 workers and can produce components for 10,000 to 15,000 vehicles annually. The entire network can be scaled by simply adding more microfactories in new locations. This approach creates extraordinary flexibility. When demand increases, Mobius doesn't face the years-long delays of building new gigafactories. They simply establish additional micro-facilities, achieving full production in 4 to 6 months. When component requirements change, individual facilities can be reconfigured without disrupting the entire production system. The cost advantages are staggering. Mobius's total capital expenditure per vehicle produced is approximately $1,200 compared to Tesla's $9,800 and legacy automakers' $3,500 to $5,000. Their labor cost per vehicle is similarly disruptive, $420 versus Tesla's $2,400 and traditional manufacturers' $1,800 to $3,200. Perhaps most revolutionary is their approach to automation. While Western manufacturers attempt to eliminate human workers entirely, Mobius uses what they call collaborative optimization, using automation for precision tasks while leveraging human adaptability for complex assembly. We don't see workers as costs to eliminate, says Okafor. We see them as assets to optimize. Our system produces vehicles with fewer defects than fully automated plants while employing 5 times more people per vehicle. The environmental benefits extend beyond the vehicles themselves. The distributed manufacturing network reduces transportation emissions by 87% compared to centralized production. Each facility is powered by rooftop solar with battery storage, making the entire production process carbon neutral. Legacy automakers have taken notice. General Motors sent a 14-person team to study Mobius's approach last year. Toyota has reportedly offered over $2 billion to acquire their manufacturing technology outright, an offer Mobius declined. The Western manufacturing model is fundamentally broken, concludes Okafor. It requires massive capital, creates enormous waste, and optimizes for everything except affordability. We've proven there's a better way. The question isn't whether this model could work in America. It's whether entrenched interests will allow it to disrupt their century-old manufacturing paradigm. The numbers tell a story that's sending shockwaves through the automotive industry. In just 18 months since full production began, Mobius has sold 217,000 vehicles across Africa and Asia, captured 34% of the EV market in emerging economies, built a 6-month order backlog of 380,000 vehicles, achieved profitability within 9 months of launch, maintained a 42% gross margin, double Tesla's 21%. This isn't just impressive growth, it's an existential threat to established players. In India, Mobius outsold Tata Motors' electric vehicles by 3 to 1, despite Tata's government connections and decades of market presence. In Indonesia, they captured 41% of the entire EV market within 1 year of entry. We're witnessing the smartphone moment for electric vehicles, explains automotive analyst Sophia Chen. Just as Apple and Samsung once dominated until Chinese manufacturers democratized smartphone access, Tesla and legacy automakers are watching their potential market evaporate as Mobius redefines affordability. The stock market has taken notice. Tesla shares have declined 18% since Mobius announced their expansion plans. Traditional automakers have fared even worse, with GM, Ford, and Stellantis all seeing double-digit stock declines as investors question their ability to compete at these price points. Most concerning for Western manufacturers, Mobius isn't competing for luxury or even mid-market customers. They're tapping the vast global market of first-time car buyers and internal combustion owners who couldn't previously afford to go electric. Tesla isn't losing sales to Mobius yet, notes Chen, but they're losing their future growth market. The 3 billion people entering the middle class over the next decade will buy Mobius-priced vehicles, not $40,000 Teslas. The disruption extends beyond personal vehicles. Mobius recently unveiled commercial variants of their platform, delivery vans, small buses, and utility vehicles, all priced 70 to 80% below comparable Western options. Fleet operators from Brazil to Vietnam have placed orders totaling over 140,000 units. Ride-sharing companies have become major customers, with Indonesia's Gojek purchasing 22,000 vehicles and Africa's Safe Boda ordering 18,000. These companies calculate that Mobius vehicles pay for themselves in fuel savings within 7 to 9 months of operation. Perhaps most telling is the response from global investors. Mobius recently completed an $850 million funding round at a $12.4 billion valuation, led not by venture capital firms, but by sovereign wealth funds from Singapore, UAE, and Norway. These sophisticated investors are betting that Mobius represents the future of global transportation. We're not just selling cars, explains Mobius founder Jackson. We're creating mobility access for the billions of people ignored by Western manufacturers. That's not just a market opportunity, it's a global transformation. The question isn't whether Mobius will disrupt the automotive industry. They already have. The question is how quickly this African revolution will reach American shores. Mobius is coming to America, and they're bringing their $5,000 EVs with them. The company has confirmed plans to enter the U.S. market in Q2 next year, with a strategy that bypasses traditional automotive distribution channels entirely. We're not just bringing a product to America, we're bringing a completely different approach to how vehicles are sold and supported, explains Mobius Chief Strategy Officer Nadia Kimani. The traditional dealer model adds approximately $2,400 in cost per vehicle. We're eliminating that entirely. Instead of dealerships, Mobius will establish 200 experience centers in partnership with major retail chains. These compact facilities, typically 2,000 to 3,000 square feet, will showcase vehicles and process orders, but won't maintain inventory or service departments. The company has already signed agreements with 2 major national retailers, though they remain under NDA until official launch. The distribution model is revolutionary. Vehicles ordered at experience centers or online will be delivered directly to customers' homes within 14 days. The entire purchase process takes approximately 10 minutes and can be completed entirely on a smartphone. Regulatory hurdles that typically block automotive newcomers have been navigated through an ingenious approach. Rather than seeking traditional manufacturer certification, Mobius vehicles will initially be classified as neighborhood electric vehicles under federal law, with a software-limited top speed of 25 miles per hour. Customers can then visit any of 1,200 planned upgrade centers, small facilities staffed by certified technicians, where vehicles receive a software update and safety certification to operate as full-speed vehicles. This 2-step process satisfies regulatory requirements while maintaining the direct-to-consumer model. The initial American lineup will include 3 models: the E1 Basic, $5,000, 150-mile range, 4-passenger; the E1 Plus, $7,200, 250-mile range, 5-passenger; the E1 Utility, $8,400, 200-mile range, cargo configuration. Pre-orders have already begun through a limited access program, with over 37,000 reservations secured, despite zero traditional marketing. The company plans to deliver 100,000 vehicles in the first 12 months of U.S. operations. Established automakers aren't sitting idle. Ford has filed challenges with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration regarding Mobius's certification strategy. GM has lobbied for stricter safety requirements that would effectively block Mobius's entry. Tesla has remained publicly silent while reportedly preparing a sub-$20,000 model to counter the threat. The legacy players are terrified, says automotive journalist Robert Chen. They know they can't match Mobius's pricing with their current cost structures. Their only defense is regulatory obstruction. Despite these challenges, Mobius appears positioned to overcome resistance through overwhelming consumer demand. Their waiting list grows by approximately 1,200 vehicles daily, creating political pressure that counterbalances industry lobbying. As one industry analyst noted, when tens of thousands of Americans are waiting for affordable electric vehicles, politicians think twice about blocking them to protect established manufacturers. What's it actually like to own and drive a $5,000 Mobius EV? Surprisingly normal, and that's precisely the point. The genius of the E1 isn't that it's revolutionary to drive, it's that it feels completely conventional while being electric and affordable, explains automotive journalist Maria Rodriguez, who spent 3 weeks with an E1 in Kenya. It doesn't require owners to change their behavior or expectations, except they never visit gas stations. The driving experience is straightforward. The E1 accelerates smoothly, handles predictably, and stops effectively. It's not sporty or luxurious, but it's comfortable and confidence-inspiring. Exactly what mass-market transportation should be. Interior noise levels measure 68 decibels at highway speeds, comparable to a Toyota Corolla. The climate control system maintains comfortable temperatures even in extreme conditions. The infotainment system is basic but functional, with Bluetooth connectivity, navigation, and smartphone integration. Charging couldn't be simpler. The E1 uses a standard household outlet, requiring no special equipment or installation. A full charge takes 4 to 6 hours depending on the model, with most owners simply plugging in overnight. For those needing faster charging, the vehicle is compatible with Level 2 public chargers, reaching 80% capacity in approximately 40 minutes. Maintenance requirements are minimal. The E1 has no oil to change, no transmission fluid, no spark plugs, and no timing belts. The recommended service schedule includes annual battery system check, can be performed remotely, tire rotation every 10,000 miles, brake fluid replacement every 30,000 miles, cabin air filter replacement every 15,000 miles. Total annual maintenance costs average $80 to $120 compared to $600 to $800 for comparable internal combustion vehicles. Reliability data from existing markets is exceptional. The E1 has a reported 99.7% uptime rate, with the most common issues being minor software glitches that are resolved through over-the-air updates. The simplified mechanical design eliminates most traditional failure points. When service is required, Mobius uses a unique approach. Rather than establishing dedicated service centers, they have partnered with major retail auto parts chains to create Mobius service points within existing stores. Certified technicians can perform most repairs in under an hour, often while customers wait. For more complex issues, Mobius deploys mobile service units that come to the vehicle's location. These technicians can replace entire drivetrain components in under 90 minutes using the E1's modular design. The ownership experience does have limitations. The vehicle's 85 mph top speed makes it less ideal for long highway trips. The basic interior lacks the luxury appointments of more expensive vehicles, and the minimalist approach means fewer convenience features than technology-packed competitors. But these compromises enable the revolutionary price point that makes electric mobility accessible to virtually everyone. As one owner in Rwanda explained, "I don't need my car to be a status symbol or a technology showcase. I need it to take me where I'm going reliably and affordably. The E1 does that perfectly, and I never buy gas." What's happening in Kenya isn't just another automotive story. It's a fundamental reshaping of what transportation can and should be. Mobius has proven that electric vehicles don't need to cost $40,000 or require complex charging infrastructure, they have demonstrated that manufacturing can be decentralized, sustainable, and accessible without sacrificing quality or reliability. For consumers, the implications are immediate and profound. Affordable electric mobility is no longer a distant promise. It's arriving next year at a price point that makes financial sense for almost everyone. The $5,000 Mobius E1 delivers what matters most: reliable, practical transportation without the environmental impact or ongoing costs of internal combustion engines. For investors, this represents both opportunity and warning. Companies that recognize and adapt to this new paradigm will thrive. Those that cling to outdated models of expensive, over-engineered vehicles will face increasing pressure as Mobius expands globally. The future of transportation isn't being written in Silicon Valley or Detroit anymore. It's emerging from Nairobi, and it costs just $5,000.